Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome you all to the 14th session of the Indic Knowledge Landscape, an overview. We have been discussing about the 14 Vidyasthanas, which are also called as Apara Vidyas. There are Paravidyas also, which are experiential knowledge. They are 32 in number, and there is one Nyasa Vidya also. And among the Apara Vidyas, 4 Vedas we have discussed. Then the concept of yajna and the scientific aspect of yajna. And then we discussed about Vedas as containers of knowledge. Then different aspects like Nama, Rupa, Kritya. Then Panchikarana in the Srishti Prakarana. All these topics we have discussed. And we took up the Vedangas. There are 6 Vedangas. Among them, the first 4, Shiksha, Vyakarana, Chandas and Nirukta, they deal mainly with the language aspect. Shiksha talks about the phonetics and phonology. We can say it is the science of Swara and Ucharana. Swara and Ucharana Vijnana. Then Vyakaranam deals with the grammatical aspects of Sanskritam, both Vaidika and Laukika Vyakaranam. Chandas talks about the prosody, and also a lot of mathematical concepts are involved in Chandas. Niruktam is etymology of the Vedic words. It helps one in understanding the complicated Vedic words. Kalpa and Jyotisha, they actually deal with the Yajna concept and how the Yajna Vedi is built is discussed in Kalpa Sutras, and what kind of Yajna needs to be performed to gain different material gains, we can say, material pursuits, where to have what kind of yajnas should be performed is discussed. And then we have this different types of yajnas like Agnishtoma, Atiratra, Chaturmasya, and many yajnas are discussed there. We have Ashvalayana Grihya Sutras, then we have this Bodhayana Dharma Sutras, then Apastamba Sutras, and so many other sutras, Vadhula Sutras. They all discuss different topics with regard to yajnas and their performance. And then today, the last topic in among the Vedangas is Jyotisham. Here, if we look at the shloka here, Chandaha Padautu Vedasya Hastau Kalpaha Atha Pathyate Jyotisham Ayanam Chakshuhu Niruktam Shrotram Uchyate. So Jyotisha is considered as the chakshu, eyes. If kalpa is considered as hastav, without hands, we cannot do so many things. Like likewise, Jyotisham acts as chakshu. Without eyes, it is very difficult to perceive so many objects or things, or to understand so many ideas, you can say. So here, how do we get this word Jyotisham? Jyotimshi adhikritya kritam shastram Jyotisham. Here, Dyuta Deepti means light, you can say. Dyuta Deeptau iti dhatu. So, if we use this dhatu, Dyuta, in Kartrartha, if it is used like a noun, then what happens is Dyutehe isin adeshcha jaha jyotihi. So here there is a isun pratyaya. This has been derived from the Unadi Sutras. I hope you all remember Unadi Sutras. We have discussed in length about Unadi Sutras in our Vyakaranam discussion. So this Unadi Sutra gives this isun pratyaya. Then Puganta Laghupadhasya cha is another sutra. This is Ashtadhyayi Sutra Patha. Says wherever there is a Upadha Varna, this rule helps whether to apply that rule and arrive at the Gunadesha. So here what happens? Dyuta becomes, first of all, it becomes Jyuta. Then it becomes, with this sutra, it becomes Jyoti. Then there, Jyotis is the Shabda. Then Inaha Shaha. So with this sutra, that Sakara at the end of Jyotis, that Sakara becomes Shakara. So if Sutra Sankhya is given, when you have time, you can go through the sutras and learn more about them. So Vedangas, primarily Jyotisha Shastra. What is the purpose of Jyotisham? Jyotisham was utilized to fix auspicious or suitable time for performing different Vedic yajnas. And the initially we had Lagadhacharya, who provided us an excellent text to understand the astronomical aspects of the Vedanga-JYAUTISHAM. But today, unfortunately, there is no access for us to this text, Lagadhacharya's Vedanga-JYOTISHA. But it so happens that there are many texts which have been written based on Lagadhacharya's Vedanga-JYOTISHA. And it also helps in the science of astronomy. It has a lot of mathematics involved, and also it talks about in detail about the astrological concepts. Then today we actually come across more of this predictive astrology, that is Phalita Jyotish. We all keep going to astrologers for different problems. So what we get is the Phalita Jyotish. What to do in which situation like that. Then the Vedic people had the knowledge of astral sciences, like they knew about the movement of the sun and moon and the seasons and the eclipses, then new moon, full moon, then which nakshatra is required for the commencement of specific yajnas. All these knowledge, the people who had a great knowledge of the Vedas were able to understand and do the yajnas, perform the yajnas accordingly. Then there are this Vedanga Jyotisha can be seen with two branches, you can say. One is Archa Jyotisham and the second one is Yajusha Jyotisham. Here, if we look at this shloka, Pancha Samvatsara Mayam Yugadhyaksham Prajapatim Dina Rutvayana Masangam Pranamya Shirasa Shuchihi. So Prajapati is here this Yajusha Jyotisham talks about Prajapati as the Yugadhyaksha. And Pancha Samvatsaramaya, it talks about 5 years. It seems that there is a shift afterwards. So Pancha Samvatsaramayam. So for about 5 years, then it keeps changing the movement of the planets, you can say. Then there is a third recension called the Atharva Jyotisha, ascribed to Rishis Swayambhu and Bhrugu. Then there are 7 grahas, as you all know, and no, there are 9 grahas actually, but the names of the 7 grahas are mentioned, are taken for naming the weekdays. And in addition to Tithi, Nakshatra, and Yoga. Yoga means here, it is not what we talk about the yogasanas. It is not that. Here in Panchanga, as you people keep using Panchanga, which is a Hindu calendar system, that has a concept called yoga. Tithi, Nakshatra, Yoga, Karana, and Var. So, this Nakshatra and Yoga is mentioned in the Hindu calendar. Then, the most important contribution of Vedanga-Jyotisha is the development of this Panchanga. This Panchanga is based on the movements of the sun and moon. And if you look at the Panchangas, they were able to predict exact days of eclipse or new moon day, full moon day, Ekadashi, every day, everything. When is the sunrise? When is the sunrise going to happen? When is the season going to change? Everything used to be recorded. It was perfect. Nowadays, we find there is even every festival, there is some confusion. Some people will celebrate one day, the next day some other people will celebrate. So it means people are not deeply involved in the study of Jyotisha Shastra properly. So this has been used by many other cultures around the world this Hindu calendar, and it has been of great help to many people. And Jyotisha Shastra is utilized for Dik, Desha, Kala. Everything is decided, determined. And then time is of utmost importance for performing yajnas. So this has been the primary objectives of Vedanga-Jyotisham. So if you look at this, Yatha Shikha Mayuranam Naganam Manayaha Yatha Tatvat Vedanga Shastranam Jyotisham Athava Ganitam Murdhani Sthitam. So we were experts in mathematical calculations. That is what it means. Then if you look at this slide here, an analytical time tracking framework that works in tandem with astronomical observations of the present day world, you can say. Ganaka can make predictions. Nakshatra Darsha can confirm the degree of accuracy of these estimates. And effective corrections are being made as and when required. Then there is always a scope to improve algorithms or calculations, you can say. So Jyotisham has been, you can say, three prashna, that is Desha, Dik, Desha, Kala, Nirnaya, three prashna. Then it has been helpful in that. And what are the contents of Vedanga-Jyotisham? It is related to Kala, that we all know. And it is related to astronomy. Actually, it is not Khagola Shastram. It is what you can say, celestial movement. There is some other word. I think this is wrong. Then the summer and winter solstices. Then when there is increase or decrease of the duration of the days and nights in the ayanas. And what Europeans do usually, they simply change their timings in their clock. Daylight scheming, something is there, no? Daylight scheme is there. Then we have tithis. Then we have seasons, rutus. Then there are parvas. Then nakshatra, parva nakshatra and parva tithis. Then Vishuvats. Then it is equinox. Then solar and other types of years like Sauramana, Chandramana. These are the systems followed for different aspects, you can say. Then the revolution of the sun and moon as seen from the earth has been discussed in Vedanga-Jyotisham. Then the times of the suns or moons transit through a nakshatra, and the suns or moons movement towards a zodiac sign, you can say. That is also discussed. And then Adhika Masa is discussed. And the measures of the longest day and shortest day is also discussed in Vedanga-Jyotisham. And all these calculations were done without any computer or any instruments to measure. That kind of excellent astronomic texts or systems we had. Then there are Siddhantas. So what happened as we uh, lost some of the initial texts, many people who came subsequently, who studied the astronomical literature, they came up with different Siddhantas. Siddhanta means an established theory. Already there is somebody has given us something, and we are going to explain it in much more detail with additional material than that has been covered in Vedanga Jyotisha. So here there are Ashtadasha Pravartakas, 18 people who are revered as the Pravartakas, who gave us the Vedanga Jyotisha. Surya, then Brahma, Vyasaha, Vasishthaha, Atrihi, Parasharaha, Kashyapaha, Naradaha, Gargaha, Marichihi, Manuhu, Angirasaha. Then Lomashaha, Pulishaha, Chyavanaha, Yavanaha, Bhruguhu. There is a typo error. Shaunakaha. These are the Ashtadashaschaite Jyotish Shastra Pravartakaha. So here there is just this is a shloka where it is said that Kashyapa went to Brahma and discussed, wanted to know about the Jyotisha. Kim pramanam muhurtana ratrau va yadi va diva chandradityagatam sarvam tanme bruhi. So please help me understand this system, how this Chandra Adityagatam Sarvam. So he goes and asks, requests, prays to Brahma, and provac tasya shushrushamanasya kashyapasya Bhagavan provacha sarvam muhurta jnanam. So Bhagavan Pitamaha or Brahma gave him all the knowledge that was required of this Jyotisham. Then, while nakshatra system was existing, the 12 signs of the zodiac, Mesha, Vrishabha, etc., were introduced. So, what happened? They observed how there are, as you all know, there are 27 nakshatras, that is 27 constellations you can see. So these rishis, how they worked on these nakshatras, it is how they arrived at these zodiac signs. Like Mesha is the first zodiac sign. So it means Mesha is a goat, you can say. If when they observed the constellations like Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, these are the first three constellations. So each nakshatra or each constellation, they divided into four parts, four padas, you can say. Ashwini, four padas, Bharani, four padas, Kritika, third nakshatra is Kritika, and that is also divided into four padas, but first pada is taken for calculation. So Ashwini, four padas, in addition to Bharani, four padas, totally 8 padas have come. Then Kritika first pada is included. So 9 padas. So these 9 padas becomes one Rashi. First Rashi, that is Mesha. So when they looked at this constellations, this Mesha Rashi, the Ashwini, Bharani, and Kritika first pada, they together appeared as Mesha. Then if they look at the next three padas of Kritika and Rohini, 4 padas, 3 plus 4 is 7. Then next nakshatra is Ardra, right? So 2 padas from Ardra is taken, so it becomes 9 again, and it appears as though it is a bull. So this way they arrived at the zodiac signs. Then computations for arriving at the precise values involved the understanding of the length of the solar year, motion of the grahas, solar and lunar eclipses, everything they had to take into consideration. So, to understand the movement of each and every graha, a great deal of mathematics was important, and thus they developed mathematics to aid these calculations. Then, initially, as I said, there were 18 Siddhantas, but during Varaha Mihiracharya's time, only Saura, then Paitamaha, Vasishtha, Romaka, and Paulisha systems were compiled. And these 5 were consolidated and preserved in his Pancha Siddhantikam. They were Saura, Paitamaha, Vasishtha, Romaka, and Paulisha. Then this there is another way of classification of Jyotisha Shastra, that is Surya Siddhanta, that is Siddhanta Skandha, Muhurta Skandha, then Jataka Skandha. Then if you look at who did this Siddhanta Skandha, we have Arya Bhattiya Siddhanta Skandha, then Surya Siddhanta is there. Then Muhurta Skandha was developed by as a Muhurta Martanda and Muhurta Chintamani by some other astrologers. Then Brihad Jataka, Jataka Skandha was this Brihad Jataka was developed by Varaha Mihiracharya. And this Jyotisha Shastra as a Shastra has 6 angas again. They are Jataka, Gola, Nimitta, Prashna, Muhurta, and Ganita. So the Ganita is the main here, main topic here, because everything else depends on the perfection in Ganita Shastra. Then if we look at the importance of astronomy, Vedahi Yajnartham Abhipravrittaha Kalanupurvya Vihitascha Yajnaha Tasmat Idam Kalavidhana Shastram. So this Yaha Jyotisham Veda, the one who knows Jyotisham well, Saha Veda Yajna. So he knows Yajnas very well, because he is able to understand when to perform which Yajna for the benefit of everybody, universal benefit, which we have been discussing from day one. Yatha Shikha Mayuranam Naganam Manayah Yatha Tadvat Vedanga Shastranam Jyotisham Murdhani Sthikam. So Mayura. Mayura is peacock. Peacocks have a beauty with there is that shikha. There is some shikha is there, no, on top of its head. It is so beautiful to look at. Then Nagana Manaya. It is said that serpents have some naga, some money on top of their head. And the same way, Vedanga Shastranam Jyotisham Murdhani Sthitam. If you look at the entire Vedangas, Jyotisham is standing at the top. Then there are concepts like Pala, then this how to Nadika, then Kala. All these concepts are they discussed in this Vedanga Jyotisham. Then we have a glossary of the concepts discussed in here. So you can, when you have time, you can go through this in detail. Then we have a few astrology related concepts here. Like just now I told you, Mesha, Vrishabha, Mithuna, Karka, Simha, Kanya, Tula, Vrishchika, Dhanu, Makara, Kumbha, Meena Rashis. There are 12 Rashis, and they have synonyms like Kshetra, Griha, Vriksha, Bha, Bhavanam, and many times in what happened was these nakshatras, the people used these 27 nakshatras to track the lunar passage. And even in our childhood, we used to hear our elders talk about, as there were no clocks those days. So our elders, they would say what would be the time by looking at the sun or the moon. That kind of knowledge they had, which we have lost today. And there is this nakshatra darsha concept. And then nakshatra vidya is talked about in the Chandogya Upanishad. And each of these rashis or zodiac signs, they have a rashi adhipati, like Mesha, Kuja, then Vrishabha, Shukra is the adhipati. Mithuna has Buddha as adhipati. Buddha is Venus. Shukra is Venus. Buddha is Mercury. Then Chandra is Moon. Ravi is Sun. Like that. Angaraka is Shani. Mangala. Mars. Then Brihaspati is Guru. Okay. Then these are the 27 nakshatras. And each of the rashis have their own uniqueness. Like Matsya Ghati. Matsya is a Meena Rashi. So Meena Rashi is both sides head would be there. It is attached. And then Nrmithunam. So Mithuna Rashi has male and female together. Then if you look at Kanya Rashi, it looks like a young woman, you can say. So these are Seshaha Swanama Sadrishaha. They all, as the name appears, they look, they are visible in the same manner, you can say. By looking at them, they must have named. And one more beautiful thing is, we had talked about Chandas earlier in our classes. So this shloka is in Vasanta Tilaka Vrittam. So how Vyakaranam, this Unadi Sutram, then how Chandas has come into this. It is it means each of these Vedangas, they are helping each other, you can say. You cannot have only Shiksha, you cannot have only Vyakarana, you cannot have only Chandas or Nirukta. All of them together bring such a beauty to the Vedas and in understanding the Vedas. So there is a concept called Rashi Chakra. All these Dwadasha Rashis, all the 12 Rashis, they are there in that Rashi Chakra. So it is that chakra is 360 degrees, that everybody knows. So if it is divided into 12 parts, each part will be 30 degrees, right? So thus they have used a lot of mathematics in understanding the concepts of Jyotisha. Then how to arrive at, there is a concept called Navamsha, how to arrive at they have done some calculations. So if different degrees, what do they connotate, and how they help in a person's life, that is also discussed in Jyotisham. Then there is this Kalaha, then this Katapayadi Sankhya is discussed. This Katapayadi Sankhya is discussed not only in Jyotisham, even in music, classical music, also it is discussed, and it helps a person to arrive at the Melakarta Ragas. Here I have shown just about this first shloka of Varaha Mihiracharya's Grantha, Brihad Jatakam. And Hora is a word which we come across in Jyotisham. How do we arrive at Hora? It is Ahascha, Ratrischa, Ahoratram. So Ahaha is day, Ratrihi is night. So when it comes together, it is Ahoratram. This is a Samasta Pada. So this Ahoratram Shabdasya Purva that is A is removed. Then Apara last word, last letter is removed. So it becomes Hora. That means Aho, Ahaha, Ratrihi is there. A is removed from Ahaha. Then Ratra, there, Tra is removed. So it becomes Hora. So Etat Hora Shastram Dvividham. So it helps one in understanding Shubha Shubham Yanakti Dridhaka. So what happens is our main purpose of a human being is to reach is to get moksha. So to get moksha, there are different karmas which we keep on acquiring in our day-to-day life. So the Hora Shastra, or you can say Jyotisham, helps us in overcoming the obstacles, and how to overcome the obstacles is discussed in Hora Shastra. So what it says is Dridha Karmoparchitam, Adridha Karmoparchitam is. So if Shubha Karma Kshayartham Adishayena Danam Kartavyam, that is what it is saying. So if Adridha Karmoparchitam is there, then we have to do a lot of yatra, Tirtha Yatra. So those days, people were used to do a lot of yatra and also do a lot of dana. That way, they were able to grow spiritually, so that we are not addicted or we are not attached to material things. So the Vedanga Jyotisha also has discussed about these things. Then, if we look at this Aryabhata's shloka, he says, Aryabhataha Trini Gadati. He says, I am telling three things. What are they? Ganitam, Kalakriya, Golam. So, I am discussing three things: Ganita, Kalakriya, and Golam. So, this is a shloka which says how these different Yuga Ravi Bhaganaha. So, how these movements of different grahas and nakshatras helps in calculation. That's what this shloka means, quite complicated one. Then, if we look at the Vedangas and modern mathematics, Chandas and Pingala Sutras, we have seen that binary number system, Pascal's triangle, concept of zero, permutation and combination. And then, if we look at Paniniya Ashtadhyayi, there is a formal mathematical system which can be understood. Then there are nested rules which we discussed. Then there is a potential application in present day computer programming languages. Then if we look at the Kalpa Sutras, Shulba Sutras help in understanding Pythagoras theorem. Then if we look at the Jyotisham, trigonometry, calculus, modular arithmetic, everything is there. Then the contributions of various acharyas, if we look at them, Aryabhata, the Varahamihira has been credited with writing several authoritative texts on astronomy and astrology. And one important thing is in 2001 or so, that time we were in Ahmedabad, Gujarat had a massive earthquake. That Bhuj was the epicenter at that time. And some professor from Baroda University, MS University, he was a Sanskrit scholar, and he told that Varaha Mihiracharya had predicted that earthquake 2000 years ago. And he also has said, it seems, in that text, the region of Saurashtra will get more rainfall after that earthquake, and there will be a lot of greenery later on. And if we look at Gujarat today, definitely what Varaha Mihiracharya has told 2000 years ago has come true. That's what I have observed. And then there are mathematical astronomy called Tantra. His Pancha Siddhantika is a detailed text. Then horoscopy, that is Hora, Brihajataka, then a horoscope about marriage, about journeys, and then when to, if we listen to our elders, usually they keep telling, if you want to travel, yeah, these days only you can travel. In this, the direction is very important. And also, Shani Ushas is the that day. If you on Saturday, if you leave early, so you need not look at the Panchanga. That is concept followed even today. And then there is this Brihad Samhita, Brihad Yatra, Yoga Yatra, Brihad Vivaha Patala, and all these things. Then Aryabhata has written several treatises, and uh, they are all on mathematics and astronomy. And we can definitely find very few texts which are available today. And uh, this Aryabhatiyam, which has been a great mathematical literature. It talks about arithmetic, algebra, then plane trigonometry, spherical trigonometry, and it contains fractions, quadratic equations, and sums of power series. So many things are discussed in Aryabhatiyam. Then the text consists of 108 verses and 13 introductory verses, and Geetika Pada, Ganita Pada, Kalakriya Pada, Gola Pada are all discussed there. And he talks about the large units of time like Manvantara Yuga and Mahayuga also he talks about. And if we look at the text, we understand how much of work our ancestors have done. Then this Golapada discusses about trigonometric aspects of the celestial sphere, and then celestial equator, node, shape of the earth, and all those things are discussed. Then there is place value system and zero, then approximation of pi, area of a triangle, all those things. Then squares and cubes are discussed. Motions of the solar system, eclipses, whatever you want, everything has been discussed by Aryabhata. Then we have Brahmagupta. Brahmagupta, he wrote his texts were on mathematics and astronomy again. Then Brahma's Phuta Siddhanta has been a great text which helps astronomers even today in understanding the concepts. Then he first described gravity as an attractive force and used the term Gurutva in Sanskritam to describe it. Then there are this quadratic formula also is discussed here, and this is just an image to show you how many mathematical and other concepts have been discussed by our ancestors. And we have had Bhaskaracharya. Uh, uh, he also has done a tremendous work, and Bhaskaracharya's Leelavati, which is purely mathematics, which was written only to make his daughter, who was unable to grasp mathematical concepts, this Leelavati was written only for her sake. So beautifully done all these works. And we should all be so grateful to these acharyas, and it is very much essential that we try to understand these concepts well. And regarding the Jyotisham, some of the topics I have learned from Dr. Murli Sham H, who had taught me some time ago. Unfortunately, I could not continue. If anybody is interested, I can share his contact number and they can learn from him. So, there ends our Vedanga topics. Next week, I would like all of you to do a revision of all the Vedangas. Shiksha, each one of you take one concept, one Vedanga, and please, you can explain how much you have understood. Okay. Any questions? Okay. It needs to sink in. I can understand. So please go through the slides and recording once again.
Astronomy field is itself so vast, Mahoday, this Jyotisham. So it's more of a curiosity. So now that we have seen, what Jyotisham, actually contains. So how come, but nowadays, it's just, people discuss only horoscopes or only, Shani is in this Rashi. So this is going to happen to you. Why it's become so commercialized, So
yeah. That has happened because we ourselves are responsible for that. We have degraded ourselves. Instead of understanding the movement of the planets, what we have done is we are all the time afraid that something negative is happening. That fear has degraded us. If we are able to accept whatever comes our way, like the way our ancestors did. See, today, fortunately, none of us are having so much of difficulty like the way our grandparents or their parents faced. All of us are quite comfortable, but the way they led their lives is totally different from the way we are leading our lives. We are all the time tensed, all the time worried, all the time unhappy. Those days they didn't have anything, no TV, no even books also very rare. No? Not all were able to afford to buy books or read them. They were content with whatever God has given. Today, that contentment is not there. We are driven by our greed. So, the astrologers naturally exploit us. They keep Bhayankara Amavasya. If you look at that, what is the Bhayankara Amavasya? Amavasya has been coming and going. But if you look at that, the way they coin the words and they instill fear in us because we are allowing that, isn't it?
And then we give an opportunity for, others to say, oh, it's all superstition, it's all blind belief, so somewhere we are kind of paving the way for them.
Yes. And it is not superstition. Actually, the concepts discussed in these great texts, they are definitely there. But of course, Shani Dasha, there is a negative impact. But life is not all a bed of roses. No. There is a mixture of both good and bad. So we should be able to handle them. That sthita prajna is there, no, in Bhagavad Gita. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. So a person who is yesterday, Wednesday, I had to cancel the class. No, that uncle's wife, she is a sthita prajna actually. I have seen such a, I have seen her since my childhood, but never she would be upset or angry or nothing. She's calm all the time. Even at this day, also, she is the same person. Very rarely we come across such people. So, that kind of attitude, if we develop, then automatically, whatever the rishis did, those things will appear before us also.
Mahodaya, I had one more question. I mean, sometime back I had also read that, like this, even the farmers in very ancient times, just based on these, they were able to, kind of understand the seasons, so which crops to be sown,
Yes.
and, all the agricultural, whatever they were supposed to do. So how was it, Mahodaya? I mean, a common man, there was so much of intelligence in him, where
Yes.
he could actually, plan everything. I mean, so even a farmer, even they could kind of plan, right? Like which plants, seeds to sow in which season, and then, everything. So where did we lose that knowledge? I mean,
Yes, we ourselves are responsible. See, we have come away from our roots. And this Jyotisha Shastra, especially, leave out everything else. This Jyotisha Shastra is allowed to be studied even by a kid. It is not that it is restricted to a certain class of society or certain group of caste. Nothing like that. Jyotisha can be read and understood and practiced by everybody. Everybody is allowed. So that shows how our people, they have a great understanding of which should be revealed to whom, isn't it? The need, a farmer needs to know the seasons. He needs to understand when is whether there is going to be rains or not, whether there is going to be scanty rains. So he learnt well, and no suicides. There was no need to commit suicide. Nowadays, what happens? They don't have any support system, and even if some government tries to help them, the other people are there to destroy them for their own personal gains, isn't it? So we ourselves are responsible for the downfall.
it's very
Astu?
interesting, this
Yeah.
topic. Extremely interesting.
Great. Great rishis and great works they have done, and thousands of years this has been preserved. Though even after the so many attacks on us, on our culture, on our people, on our land, everything.
In fact,
So,
even no, I mean, even till today on this Yugadi day, still Panchanga is read, in our
yes,
homes, in our, villages and all.
yeah, yeah,
So there, yeah, so what is going to be the rainfall this year?
yes, yes,
So all that, people they discuss and they
yes,
plan out the that Panchanga reading. It happens even till today.
yes, yes. My father does it. We all gather that day, and if we are not in town, at least we will come in Skype, and at that time we will be present like that. So it's a beautiful system actually. Astu. So with this, we have come to the end of Vedangas. Next class, only you people would be discussing about, you people decide who wants to talk about which Vedanga. And then after that, we will go to Upangas. So Upangas, I think 4 to 5 classes we will be able to complete. And next week, not next week, after that, one class may not be possible. I'll let you know. I have to some here ceremony is there, so that time maybe relatives would be coming and it may not be possible for me to. Astu samapayamah. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ.
नमस्ते भगिनी. राम राम.
नमस्कारः.